Hello everybody. Today I will be reviewing A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This book is the second book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and let me tell you, this book did not have the second book slump that second books usually have. You know what it has? The second book spunk. Yep, that really just happened. Let me tell you now, this is not a negative review. This is the most positive book review I think I will ever be doing, because let me tell you, I love this book. I loved it a lot, and I still love it, and I will love it forever and ever, because it is just that good. And now it is my #1 favorite young adult book I've ever read. Favorite one. Aw, Sarah, she did such a great job with this book. So before we get into the review, let me just tell you that the first part of this review is going to be spoiler free, so if you have not read ACOMAF, don't worry, you will not be spoiled. But if you have not read A Court of Thorns and Roses yet, you will be spoiled, so please leave now. The second part of this video will have spoilers in it, so I'll let you know when that is, so you can leave and then come back once you've read it. Okay, so let's get started. ACOMAF was such a good book. Feyre, she literally went to hell and back in the last novel. Like, you know, she got exploited, tortured, imprisoned, killed, resurrected as an immortal being. So you would expect her to, you know, not be normal, not be her normal self, not be sane. And that was the case at the beginning of this book. I'm really glad that PTSD was brought into this and it was shown in the way it was, and I really enjoyed that aspect of this book because it was realistic. Even if it's a fantasy novel, that does not mean that emotions are different. Emotions still happen in the same way they happen in reality, and I'm really glad that happened in this book so well. I love the character development in this novel, not just with Feyre, but with other characters like Rhys and other characters that I won't go into too much detail about because I want you guys to know about them yourselves, but I really love Rhys's character because, oh my gosh. In the last book, I liked Rhys, not because what happened and what he did to Feyre, but just because I had just a feeling that he had an ulterior motive that wasn't bad, that it was good, and I'm glad that was kind of clarified in this novel to an extent that was okay. I'm not going to go into detail about that, so read the book first. I will go into detail about it later though in my spoilery review part. So I love Rhys, I love his character, I love Feyre's character, and I really enjoyed seeing Tamlin's character kind of shift. Thought that was really interesting to see, and it makes me want to read A Court of Thorns and Roses again to kind of see his character then and compare it to how it is now, to see if he was always kind of like this, and that's all I'm going to say about this, because I don't want to spoil you. I'm going to go into more detail, like I said before, about it later. All in all, the world building was truly phenomenal. I love this world that Sarah's created, and it was so great. The conflict of this book was truly exceptional. There were so many different conflicts going on inside of it, and I was really happy to see them being brought out in the full extent that they were, especially since it's a 600-page book that enabled it to be brought out in the way it was. And I'm really happy that the storyline was not rushed. It felt very fluid and very nice and easy to get into, and then easy to not put down. You just wanted to grip it in your hands and keep it there. So all in all, I adored A Court of Mist and Fury, guys. I adored it so good. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars without a doubt, maybe even a 10 out of 5 stars. You know, that's a thing. It is a thing, guys. It is. So please leave now if you have not read ACOMAF, and if you have read ACOMAF, let's get into it. Okay, let's start with Tamlin's character, because I really would like to discuss Tamlin. Honestly, I felt like his character shift was very abrupt, but then I think back to the last book, and I'm like, was he always like this? He probably was. We just didn't, like, notice it as much, and now that it kind of was brought out in such a way, like in this book, with him being a control freak, locking Feyre up in his house, what? But then again, now I think back about it, that's something he totally would do. And I know some people may be like, why she like just ditched Tamlin? She wanted to be with him, like she literally gave up her life for him and his people, so why doesn't she stay with him? Well, if you look at it, he's literally doing everything wrong. He's really just thinking about himself and not about her. He's thinking about, if my court is happy, she will be happy, and if she's inside all the time, she'll be just delighted, especially after being under a mountain for, you know, a long time and being tortured. That's totally fine, you know? She'll be fine being stuck in a house. No, you idiot. No. Tamlin, let me talk to you. Don't lock a girl up into a house. What makes you think that that is okay? Especially when said girl has PTSD and has all those issues towards being in confined spaces. It's like he's just thinking about himself and not about his girlfriend. It's ridiculous. Well, technically fiance, but not anymore. Especially like with all the people he brought in, like that one woman, I'm forgetting her name, but it starts with an I. I'm forgetting it. Ianthe. Like she, like I knew she was trouble. I knew she was trouble when she walked in that door. I knew I could see right through her cloak. I could see right through it. That sounds really bad. I could see through her exterior and see the rotting soul beneath and how awful she is, because she is awful. And I could see that from the very start, but I wasn't very confirmed in my suspicions until later on in the novel, once we find out more about her. So honestly, some people may be like, you know what? Feyre's abrupt change in guys was so fast, but honestly, yes, it was a little speedy, but she belongs with Rhys. She belongs with him. They're mates. M-A-T-E-S. Mates. But not just that. They truly loved each other. Like, he didn't tell her that he was her mate until she found out. Like, they fell in love without even knowing about that. Well, at least she didn't. So it wasn't like he was forcing her into this relationship. It came naturally. So I enjoyed that. I'm just gonna say that I liked it. Sue me if you don't appreciate that. Actually, don't. Please don't. I'm seriously a broke college student. Okay, but Feyre, like, her PTSD was brought out in such a great way. It was very realistic. I very much appreciated that. And I also really appreciated how she actually just wanted to get out and do something. Because honestly, when you have PTSD, you don't want to do a lot of things because it makes you uncomfortable and it may trigger a certain thing for you. And I was happy that she was like, you know what? I know that this place isn't right for me, so I'm gonna go out and try to do something. But Tamlin was restricting her from doing that. So I'm happy that she got out of there at the end and went to Rhys. Okay, their relationship. I honestly loved it because it didn't actually get jump started until 300 pages into the book. And not even then, maybe 400 to 500 pages. No, 500 pages definitely. Can we talk about how steamy this book is for a second? Like, just for 1 second. No, actually for like a minute. Ooh. Ooh. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. I have never gone into a young adult book and then come out with it being a new adult book with sexual content in it that was not child's play. Thank you. I really enjoyed the sex scenes in this. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I really enjoyed them. I liked how she took that dive into that world of sex in novels and came out with such a great scene and many great scenes, and they went really well. I liked them. I really appreciated them. They were sexy, they were hot, they were steamy. I was fanning myself when I was reading it. I'm not gonna deny that. So yes, I love the steamy scenes. And Rhys, guys, I picture him as Matthew Daddario, so fine specimen. And he's so powerful. Like, he is darkness, he is night. And let's talk about for a second the Night Court. I was going into it thinking like what Feyre thought. The Night Court was a very dark, secluded, very just gloomy place, and then it turns out to be like so pretty, so amazing, so just gorgeous. I love that. I just love how Rhys hid his city from everybody else, not just him, but his ancestors before him, hid a whole entire city from the known world. And that was just so cool. And that city was gorgeous. I loved it. And I loved the whole entire aspect and the atmosphere of the Night Court. Sarah did such a good job just describing it and putting you inside of the Night Court. We were Feyre experiencing it through her eyes in such a vivid way. I just love that so much about this. Okay, so let's talk about Feyre and her powers. So we know that Feyre, she has a little bit of every high fae in her, high fae lore. And that makes things very interesting because nobody knows what she is and what power she contains, not necessarily. And then Tamlin's like, we want to suppress it. We don't want anybody to know what she has in her. I think that's the best for her, so what I think goes. Tamlin, you're an idiot. Once again, you're an idiot. Idiot in love, but an idiot. And then Rhys was like, hey, you have this power, you need to harness it, not just you use as a weapon, but to use it and be able to control it so you can kind of anchor yourself to your new powers and be able to control them if needs be. And I really enjoyed that about Rhys. And when we find out the real reason why Rhys did all those things to her under the mountain was mainly because he's had dreams about her. He like knew that she was his mate, and he was doing that to protect her in a sense. And I know that may seem warped, but honestly, when you're in under the mountain, everything is warped, nothing is good, so you try your best to save the people you love and care about, even if it may seem like you're harming them instead. And I know how that can be very weird and very confusing, but once he explains in the book, it made more sense, even though it's still sickening what happened to her. No doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. But I'm happy that he explained that to us because that definitely clarified a lot of things in the reader's mind. I just can't wait for Feyre to just be such a badass in the next book because she's gonna be like, powers. Yeah, so she's gonna be a badass because in this book she mainly is learning how to harness her powers. In the next book she's gonna use them. It's gonna be so badass. So excited. Also, I was really excited when she went home to her sisters and kind of used them to help kind of contact those 3 bitch queens. No, there wasn't 3. Was it 6 queens or something? The queens were just, I knew they were trouble too. I knew it, guys. I knew it. I was like, Feyre, don't do it. Don't do it. But I'm like, actually do it because it'll make a great plot conflict. So do it. Just do it. I want to see what's gonna happen. And what happened was crazy, and now her sisters are fae because of that tub that they were put in. Like, that was an interesting bath time, wasn't it? Okay, kids, bath time. Get into the bath and you're gonna be turned into a mortal fae. Come on, get in. Okay. That was a thing. I really love seeing Feyre come to terms with her situation with Tamlin and then leave him and then learn that there's life outside of, you know, the Spring Court. And not necessarily it's all about the Night Court, but, you know, that's her next home. That's her home. And it was really nice seeing her being accepted there by, you know, know, Reese's inner circle. I loved his inner circle. I loved everybody a part of it. Cassian was great. I really loved Cassian's kind of like playful character, but when he needs to be serious, he got down to business, and I really loved that about him. And I want to know more about him, especially now that his wings are literally torn to pieces. Like, that's really sad, because we know that the Illyrians, they cherish their wings. Their wings are like their limbs. They are limbs, and that sucks that his were literally shredded to pieces. And I really hope that somehow they'll be able to repair them, or at least like build contraptions that will be able to kind of mirror those wings and their abilities. I'm really hoping about that, because that made me feel so bad. Like, my heart hurt for him. Azrael, he was just such a great character. He was quiet but mighty, and he was a spy, and I think that was so cool. And I love him. If you cannot, I just love him. And I want to know more about him and Moore, because Moore is also an amazing character. She's a great friend to Feyre and also a badass fighter. But I want her and Azrael to, you know, get together, make some babies, be happy, because they both deserve to be happy. At the end, when Tamlin was like, hey, surprise bitch, I'm working with the king that wants to destroy the whole entire world, because it's a great idea. I'm doing it for love. People do the most stupid things for love. Gotta love that. I was like, Tamlin, you idiot. Do you not think that this is gonna be a total stupid move, because this guy wants to literally take over your whole entire continent? Are you stupid? And he like sides with him because he's obviously fogged over with this rage and lust to get her back. He's like, I need my Feyre. Feyre belongs to me. She is like my dog. It's like, no, she's not your dog. She's a human being. She's a fae, so you can't actually own a person. Idiot. So, yeah, when he betrayed them and he's like, yeah, I'm siding with this king, and he comes out from behind those doors, I'm like, Lucian, why didn't you drag him back to the Spring Court? Are you an idiot too? Probably, yeah. So when that happened, I was done. I actually read ahead 10 pages and then finished the book and then went back because I was just so ticked off. I was so done, guys. So yeah, that happened. Sasha was not happy, but you know, that was the thing that happened. But all in all, I'm so excited to see what's gonna happen in the third book, like with all the spying on Feyre's part, especially because we thought that their mating bond was destroyed, but it's actually their bargain that they made that was destroyed, and I was so worried. My heart literally tore open and was displayed for all the world to see when that happened, because I was like, no, my babes, I ship you, no, and that made me so sad. But then we find out that actually was not broken, and I'm like, whoa, thank you for thinking ahead, Reese and Feyre. You guys are so smart. But you know, now they have to like go and do so much stuff in the next book. Like, they need to rebuild the pretty town that was hidden from everybody. What is it called? I'm forgetting the name. Valarius? Was it Valarius? Maybe. It got attacked by the king's minions, and everybody, like, so many people were killed and everything was destroyed. That made me so sad, guys, because screw those queens, screw them. So they need to rebuild that. He needs to get his bay back, and then, like, you know, he needs to save the whole entire continent, hopefully with the help of other people, hopefully with the help of that summer court, even though like they screwed the summer court over. Yeah, oof. Yeah, they have a lot of mess to clean up. Not sure how that's gonna end in the next book, because the next book would have to be like 800 pages, I think, which I'm totally fine with. Sarah, if you're watching this, 800-page book is totally fine with me. Another 3 books in a series are also fine. I'm so sad both of our series are coming to an end in 2017, guys. But yeah, I'm very curious how the next book's gonna play out. I'm really excited to see Feyre kick some ass, because I know it's gonna happen. I can't wait to see her and Reese get reunited again, because without a doubt, there's gonna be some steamy scenes. I'm so excited. I want to see how also Feyre dodges Tamlin's approaches to her with sexual stuff. So I want to see how she handles that really badly. Yeah, guys, that book, so good. So freaking good. I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen next. Let me know your thoughts on A Court of Mist and Fury down below. I would love to know what you guys think. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!